Rugby in Wales. To us, it's not just a sport. It's a hugely significant part of Welsh culture and identity. We love it. Who do you imagine when you think of rugby players? Do you picture burly men playing in our national stadium? Or perhaps elite women? And what about furiously fast wheelchair users? Rugby is played passionately up and down the country. But is rugby truly for everyone? I'm Mona Jethwa, and I may not be who you imagine when I ask you to think of a rugby player. I live in Neath with my husband and my 3 kids. I work for the Royal National Institute of Blind People and have recently started playing visually impaired rugby. I had zero clue of rugby when we moved to Wales. I realised how much of a religion rugby is to the Welsh people. It's embedded in the culture, it's embedded in their soul, and if I didn't know something about rugby, I think I was missing out socially. When we were younger, I loved sport. I used to swim, I was playing tennis, cricket, football. I also really enjoyed badminton. And all these sport provided me with a lot of camaraderie with my peers. It provided me an outlet to enjoy, and it helped me to stay fit. And through that, I did win loads of trophies as well. I was really proud of those achievements. My parents still have them proudly on display at home. When I was 18, during a routine eye test, it was discovered that I had the start of a condition called keratoconus, which is where the cornea gets misshapen, and that does mean that sometimes you can end up with double and triple vision, and that's exactly what was happening to me. That started to deteriorate quite suddenly, and it did mean that I wasn't able to see the ball or hit the ball. In netball, if someone was passing the ball to me, I was dropping it, I wasn't passing to the same place, and that really shattered me. It really did, and I couldn't think of what else to do to just gain that back. I was really struggling. Coming out of that was a lot to do with us moving to Neath and moving into Wales. Coming to somewhere brand new, it was just a turning page and a fresh start. And I've realised at the same time, I was the only South Asian person in my area. We did also get some apprehension from my family, thinking when we come here, you're going to be faced with racism, you're going to be faced with people looking at you funny. I hadn't faced that from my neighbours at all. Everyone's been very welcoming, very warm. Through the making of this film, I got to meet some amazing people like Colin Jarvis. He was the first dual heritage rugby player to captain the Welsh National Rugby Union team. Finding rugby was a fresh start for him too.
My journey with Wales had started 4 years prior to arriving here. I lived in London. I joined London Welsh Rugby Club as an orphaned person, so I just found a new family, found my new people, and decided I wanted to move to Wales, play rugby in Wales, and hopefully represent the country. We've come a very, very long way. I mean, when I first started playing for Wales back in 1996, it was a double whammy, really. Firstly, my colour, and then secondly, my English accent didn't go down very well.
So it was through my job at the RNIB that I learned about the plethora of VI sport that's available for people. And I discovered that just down the road from me was a brand new initiative called VI Rugby, which was starting in Llandarcy. How could I not go? In my first ever session of visually impaired rugby, I was worried that I'd be wrestled to the ground, fighting for the ball. But happily, the coaches assured me that this was touch rugby, so no tackling is involved.
If you say... We first met Mona in the first session, so she had no experience of rugby at all. So as the session went on, her skills developed massively. And then from there on in, she kept coming back weekly, and she just kept on progressing and progressing. The ball is a high contrast ball, which is especially good for somebody with my eyesight condition because it means that I'm able to differentiate between the different colours. If you're passing the ball, what we tend to do is clap and say where we are. That gives an audible signal as to where to pass the ball
and the whole game in general is at a slower pace.
Oh, good D, well done, follow your ball. Go on, ready, off you go, just run.
Even the smallest of achievements, so just catching a ball, I was getting clapped and cheered on, and honestly, I felt incredible. I felt like a superwoman for just catching a ball. In a sense, I feel quite proud that I'm representing my culture, I'm representing my race, and pushing that barrier, breaking that barrier to allow others who look like me, who identify with me, to say that, hey, I can give rugby a go. And then there's also the intersectionality with the disability and the sight loss. So there's, also in a place where I can say, hey, look, I've got sight loss, I'm still playing, you can too.
Someone who has represented Wales and Great Britain, winning 16 Paralympic medals as a wheelchair racer, is Baroness Tanni Gray-Thompson. She is now the chair of Sport Wales and continues to encourage people from any background to get involved in sport.
I grew up in Neath, in Cardiff, in a sporty family. Dad played a lot of sport, Mum watched a lot of sport, and it wasn't about a Paralympic pathway, it was about being fit and healthy and strong and being able to lead an independent life.
Tanni Gray-Thompson, still in contention. It's a fantastic...
The intersectionality of race and disability is really important because growing up, if you look at pictures of, say, the GB team, which is part of my experience, it was very undiverse. But I grew up in a city which felt that there was a lot of diversity there. And so you've got to be able to offer opportunities that fit that intersectionality, which is not just targeting disability or sex or race, but actually understanding the needs of all those of how they combine with each other. Now, we're in a much better place of understanding those barriers, whether it's a community barrier or a financial barrier or a family barrier, because sport and physical activity should be open to absolutely everybody, and you should have the chance to be good at sport or just be active.
Today, I'm meeting another of Wales's elite sportspeople in the most awe-inspiring location, the Principality Stadium. This is Leif Tobro, and he started playing rugby at 11 years old in Ystrad Gunlais in the Swansea Valley.
I was one of 3 in my year group from an ethnic minority background, and obviously I had issues in school with people not understanding my culture and my ethnic background. Why is my hair different to theirs? And I always had difficulties growing up, but sport helped me with my confidence, and then showing that I can take part in sport and I can compete at a good level.
Leif enjoyed a variety of different sports, especially football. He even became the British champion in kickboxing, but it was rugby that kept calling him back.
I went back to play rugby in 2015 because I missed the sport so much. And in that game, I had a freak accident and I lost balance as I went in for the tackle, and the opponent's knees went into my neck, and I ended up having a spinal injury, so ripped the nerves out of my spine. Unfortunately, I did so much damage, it was called brachial plexus. I damaged all the 5 nerves in my neck, which resulted in me losing the whole use of my right arm. It's been over 8 years now. Luckily, went back to kickboxing within 3 months of leaving hospital. I was back competing in local competitions, and I ended up fighting against non-disabled athletes and becoming British champion again after my injury, fighting with one arm in a sling in a non-disabled category as well.
Not content with excelling in this sport, Leif went on to join Para Taekwondo and was selected to represent Team GB, and he won a bronze medal in the World Championships. But Leif still wasn't done with rugby.
In 2022, I got selected to represent Wales in the first ever PDRL Rugby World Cup, Physical Disability Rugby League. Getting the chance to represent Wales and get my first ever Welsh cap was amazing. I ended up getting voted as one of the best PDRL players in the world at the time, in the top 3, as well as winning BBC Man of the Match against Australia, getting the best try of the World Cup.
Did you have to make changes in your training? And as you said, you're like catching a ball with one hand. But
yeah.
How does that change the way you play your game?
Yeah, completely different. You've got to be a little bit more tactical. So, because I still do contact, I got to tackle with an arm. I can't wrap around like I used to. I've got to change the way I tackle. changed the way I catch the ball. Not only have I got to catch the ball, now I've got to pass the ball one hand. So
Yeah, yeah.
I had to change my whole game. But you're playing with other people with physical disabilities and disabilities, so you all have had to adapt in some kind of way. And yeah, soon you all got challenges you've got to overcome. So it's just that team environment where you all overcome your challenges together, really.
The camaraderie,
yes,
isn't it? Yeah. And see, that's something that I'd missed. So when coming back to playing sports, it was more the sense of belonging, a sense of being accepted in a community where it's going to be inclusive. I'm really proud of myself for playing rugby, one with a visual impairment, yes, but also as a South Asian woman, being on that pitch, playing rugby, catching the ball, running around, you know, breaking that feeling that South Asian women can't do something, or there's stereotypes and judgments around South Asian people just being involved in sport.
It's really important that the global majority and the intersectionality with disabled people, that they see it's for them. We've got to be open and inclusive to be able to welcome people through the door.
It's a global sport now, and you've got players with different accents, all sorts of colours, all sorts of sizes, all sorts of origins enjoying the game. And that's what it's all about. It's about inclusivity, everyone enjoying themselves. And here in Wales, the door is open. It's about people finding that door and going charging through.
For the future, I really hope that any barriers to sport get eliminated completely. Whether you're playing for fun with friends or representing Wales, let's charge out onto the pitch and enjoy the brilliant benefits of sport. I want everyone to know that rugby and sport is a place for you.
Yeah.